Hey, just a thought. Do you want to go to Mexico for the Feast of Our Lady of Guadalupe?
Happy Feast of Our Lady of Guadalupe. We are here at the Institute for Studies on the Tilma of Our Lady of Guadalupe, right here in Mexico City. Right over here is the very foundation of Tepeyac Mountain. It goes the whole way up, and right behind us is Tepeyac Hill, where Juan Diego experienced this miraculous encounter with the Blessed Virgin Mary. So if you don't know the story, Mary appeared to Juan Diego on Tepeyac Hill in 1531. She told him to go to his bishop to have a church built on the spot. He went to the bishop said, well, I don't really believe you. If it's the lady from heaven, I want to see a sign. He went back, told the lady, they had another encounter, and she gave him these roses to bring to the bishop. Roses do not bloom at that time of year. It was December 12th, 1531. And he went back, and the tilma means a garment of clothing that the natives wore, and they could carry things in it. So this tilma is folded over, has flowers in it. He goes to the bishop to unfold the tilma and reveal the flowers, and he didn't even know that on his tilma was this image of Our Lady of Guadalupe. This is an image that evangelized a culture of death 500 years ago. This was a culture of sexual distortion, of violence. They were literally sacrificing human lives, cutting open their chests, tearing out their hearts to appease their gods. Mary shows up in this culture of death, and through the symbols of the tilma that spoke their language, within 15 years, 9 million people came into the Catholic Church. Now, it would take several hours to go through all of the symbols of the tilma, but let me just point out a few that will demonstrate what this spoke to the Aztecs. So, the Aztecs, a virgin in the Aztec culture, parted her hair in the middle. She has her hair parted in the middle. She's a virgin. A pregnant woman had a ribbon over her womb. So they look at her and they see it's a virgin who's pregnant. How is that possible? And right on the womb, there is a 4-petaled flower. That is the Aztec symbol for the divinity. So the Aztecs look at this and they see virgin pregnant with God. Ah! Now, this color in the Aztec understanding was the color of heaven. This color was the color of earth. She's not a god herself. She's not a goddess herself. She is a creature of the earth, but she has been clothed in heaven. And if we notice down here, there's an angel who is holding this color in one hand, the color of heaven, and the color of earth in the other. She, her very self, in herself, the marriage of heaven and earth is happening in her womb. Here's another symbol. This they called them glyphs. This flower right here was a glyph that in their culture spoke of civilization, right? And a civilization will flourish if this symbol here is called the river of life. Heaven is bringing the river of life into civilization. How does a civilization flourish? We must open ourselves to this heavenly impregnation, right? That's what happened. Mary opened her yearning to heaven and was filled with all the fullness of heaven in her womb. Civilization flourishes inasmuch as we open our deepest hunger, our deepest thirst. The church here uses the word eros. From the Greeks, we get that word eros, our deepest hunger, our deepest thirst. Mary shows us that civilization flourishes inasmuch as we open eros to the infinite. She is the bride in the book of Revelation who is pregnant, bringing Christ to the world. What happened 500 years ago can happen again in our world today. if we, like she, open to that divine life and allow our lives to be filled with all the fullness of God. This image spoke the theology of the body to the Aztecs 500 years ago. What it did then, it can do again. Our Lady of Guadalupe, pray for us.